Welcome back to We Regret Nothing. I'm your host, Sean, and today we continue our journey through the films of the 1940s. In our last episode, Andrea, Michelle, and I went over the first 10 movies from our list of the top 20 films of the decade, a lineup shaped by war, resilience, and some of the most enduring storytelling in cinema history. Today, we're bringing you movies 11 through 20, completing the full list of contenders. Once everything is on the table, the challenge shifts. By the end of this episode, we'll narrow those 20 films down to a definitive top 10, the movies that best capture the voice, style, and impact of the 1940s. This is where the debates get real. Prestige versus popularity, innovation versus influence, wartime storytelling versus pure escapism. But every choice we make comes with a cost. So, grab your theater candy and a soda, settle in, and join us as we debate, defend, and try to decide which films make the top 10 and move one step closer to our capsule. Welcome, Michelle.
Hello.
Oh, Andrea.
Sure.
Okay, number 11, The Great Dictator. This is a 1940 American political satire written, directed, and produced by and starring Charlie Chaplin. That is Andrea.
I have that. This one is so hard. I had a feeling that it was starting with me too, because I'm not a Chaplin fan, as we've said before, and I feel his influence is more in the 20s and 30s. That it reflects those decades more. His popularity is beginning to wane a bit now. Not incredibly. This is just 1940, but this is a fucking amazing movie in the fact that he's speaking out about these two fucking fascists way before anybody in this fucking country did publicly. I know there were people that said stuff privately. I'm not, but I mean, he was like, and he watched the Reifenschall. I can never say Reifenschall. Sorry, but thank you. That's but that he watched the films that they made about Hitler, the basic, like, just fucking dick sucking movies. And I say that not to be crude or to imply any form of pornography, but that is what those movies were. They were propaganda bullshit. And we watched them from remembering from my history, like, even if we did see it, but that America was very much like still an isolationism. I can never say that word, but you know what I kind of mean. But this guy watched it and went, okay, I'm going to make fun of him, but I've also, this might be the only way anybody fucking listens. And it's scary in so many ways. I love that Hitler hated this so much and, like, called him like a dirty Jew, like referred to him in something as like the animalistic dirty Jew, which Chaplin wasn't Jewish. But yeah, this, I believe that this is Charlie Chaplin's greatest contribution ever to film.
Michelle?
I agree that this is, in my opinion, Chaplin's best. Because we, again, like you said, we talked about this, and I'm like huge Chaplin fan either, but this one is really good. And I like the use of the music, right? Like, because he watched those films and he did research and he knew about the things that Hitler liked. Hitler was a big Wagner fan, and so was Charlie Chaplin. So he used that, like, sort of against him, right? The names are crazy funny, like when you think about it as far as like satire.
Yes.
But the speech that he gives at the end when he is taken as and being mistaken for the dictator, and then gives that big speech at the end. The speech itself is actually quite moving.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I watched it again today just to, like, and that it's not the actual dictator, that it's the barber speaking, but it's quite moving. And, and the the shit he's saying, I'm like, oh, this could be today,
Mhm.
right? Talking about power, that the people just fucking take back the power, that they could change things, right? And then my favorite line in it is, so long as men die, liberty can never perish. And he's indicating, like, when all these assholes that are in charge right now, they're all going to die. They're all going to die at some point, and then hopefully we, spring anew. I was like, that's
Yeah.
very,
Yeah.
yeah. And then I also read that there was some debate on whether or not he was sort of playing a version of the tramp in the character of the barber.
I read that too, and I've never.
Because he swore he would never play the tramp in a talkie.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, there are, I guess, some similarities, like when he's shaving people and whatever. But I also read that most film historians say that no, that's not actually what he was doing. But
I could see him being like, this is not what I'm doing. But
Mhm.
if you, the common Joe that really like the tramp,
Yeah.
mistake it and want to come see it because you
Sure.
think,
yeah, absolutely.
who am I to tell you? Who am I to dissuade you from your beliefs? But
Mhm.
yeah.
So a little of the timeline, because you had mentioned something Hitler said about Chaplin. That was before this movie was made.
Oh, I thought it was in relation to this.
No. Well, I mean, he might have after, but here's
He already hated Chaplin.
So
I pre-hated you.
So in Hitler and the Nazi Party are coming to prominence. Chaplin you had mentioned how big he was in the 20s and 30s. In 1931, Chaplin makes a trip to Berlin and is mobbed by fans. Yes. They cannot control the response, and that annoyed the Nazis. So in a Nazi propaganda book in 1934, the book was titled The Jews Are Looking at You. In the book, they describe Chaplin by name as a disgusting Jewish acrobat. To your point, Chaplin was not Jewish, but it got Chaplin going. A friend, a very close friend of Chaplin's, Ivor Montague, claims he sent Chaplin a copy of the book, and he always believed that Chaplin decided to retaliate by making this movie. And then the other thing is another friend of his takes him to this film festival where they watch the propaganda stuff you were talking about. And his friend actually was in tears over it and said that these movies are going to be, and Chaplin laughed through the whole movie. He was laughing hysterically throughout the entire thing. So those two things, I believe, contributed to him making this movie. And then again, Chaplin arranged to send the film to Hitler. And an eyewitness confirmed Chaplin did, in fact, mail this to Hitler. Hitler's friend and architect, Albert Speer, denied that Hitler had ever seen it, but there are other sources, not named, that say Hitler's seen it at least twice.
Oh,
had seen it, sorry.
Had seen
yeah, so this is... last thing I kind of have is, I have two more things, sorry, but Hollywood has moved away from silent films. And Chaplin, this is his first true sound film. It is also commercially his most successful film. And I think to both of y'all's point, maybe his best film. I don't know, but at the very least, modern critics have praised it as historically significant, one of the greatest comedy films ever made, and a very important work of satire. So this was nominated for 5 Academy Awards, production, actor, writing, supporting actor for Jack Oakey, and best music, as you all brought up, original score. But kind of I don't know the sad part of this, but in his autobiography in 1964, Chaplin says he would never have made this movie if he would have known about the true extent of the Holocaust at the time of the movie.
I don't believe he would have. That I believe there's comedy and then there's just poking at something I do believe that.
Okay, number 12, Rome, Open City. This is 1944 Italian neuro-realist drama directed by Roberto Rossellini, co-written by Sergio Amiti, Celeste. Why do I do this every episode? Celeste Nigerville and Federico Fellini. This is set in Rome in 1944. The film follows a diverse group of characters coping under Nazi occupation, centers on a resistance fighter trying to escape the city with the help of a Catholic priest. I had to look it up. The title refers to the status of Rome as an open city, which should have been self-evident to me, following its declaration as such on August 14th, 1943. And that is Michelle.
Well, I will freely admit I have not seen this. And if I'm gonna watch an Italian, director I'm much more Fellini fan than this. But I just feel like when I read the synopsis of this and as I was doing other research, I just felt like this must have been hella depressing for Italians in particular post-war. Right? They're just like, holy shit, right? Look how this makes us look. I just don't I don't know. I do like that it actually was one of the first films to kind of push Rossellini and Anna Magnani and Fellini to the forefront so that they can continue to do good work. I don't know. I felt bad. I could not confirm that it was based on the true story of a priest that was trying to help.
I can fill in there. It's Rossellini initially planned a documentary, and it was titled Story D. On the subject of Don Pietro Morosini, a Catholic priest who had been shot by the Nazis for helping the partisan movement in Italy.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So that was the impetus, the beginning of this. He wanted to do a documentary about this guy. And then go ahead, and then I'll turn it back over to you.
No, I just, but I do like that there was a lot of improv in this because the actors were most all non-professionals.
We just went through this shit.
The scene where Anna Magnani's character runs out and then gets killed in front of her own son is something probably people have seen, but they don't know what it's from.
Mhm.
I had seen it, but did not know it was from this. Yeah, I don't know. But the most interesting factoid I found was about how they were literally running out of film, out of celluloid to keep this movie going. And they, by accident, meet this dude who works for the Signal Corps and gets them like scraps, and that's how they finished it, because they ran out of money and they ran out of literal film.
Damn. I did not know that. I did not read
And I
that.
think he ends up getting some kind of producer credit or something on it because of that, but Fellini didn't like him at all.
Anything, Andrea?
No, because Michelle said everything down to I've never seen it. I know of the movie. I know the scene when she gets killed. I did not know it was from that either. Yeah, it was very my notes just say nope, I've never seen it, and the plot description is so fucking sad.
Yeah, see?
And it is, and it's just like and now knowing that it's based upon a true story, not digging that. Fuck the Nazis and all of Mussolini's fascists. I just had to get that across in there.
I think people are going to be really surprised by that hot take of yours there, that you feel that way.
Also, are there any pro Mussolini folks out there?
I'm sure they're in the MAGA party.
Well, let's just keep with the depressing motif.
Yeah. Was there a reason that these were right next to each other?
I'm glad that they are, though. I have a point about
Okay, so number 13.
See, I'm glad because of the movie that comes after. I was like, I'm sorry. Sorry.
Number 13, two different names. The Bicycle Thief, Bicycle Thieves, whichever, it's same movie. This is a 1948 Italian neorealist drama directed by Vittorio De Sica, set in post-World War II Rome. The film depicts the journey of an impoverished father hunting for his stolen bicycle, an item essential for keeping the job that represents his family's hope for survival. Wow. Okay. Andrea.
My first comment is, where's Vincent D'Onofrio? Do you remember? This is what he goes to see in The Player.
Oh,
when Tim Robbins. Okay, that was for anybody out there that's seen this. We saw it 5 times in theaters, Michelle.
No.
After that, after I saw The Player, I watched Bicycle Thieves, and this is just sad. I never watched it again. I think Preston brought it up once about, Mom, would you ever want to watch this with me? And I was like, I will, but I think he never asked me again. I think he could just tell by my tone. The little boy in it, I love that he was just like belonged to one of the was the child of one of the shop owners and was just like just watching and so fascinated with them doing this that the director, it was his son that he was going to have, or going to have his son play, that he's like, oh, like scooted his son over and brought this kid who is just really good in so many sweet ways, that this now years later, I realize how much the son from The Bicycle Thief reminds me of the little boy in Cinema Paradiso. And I'm sure that might have been what they're maybe to evoke some of that. This movie is really good, but it just, that's all.
Oh, Michelle.
Yeah, my notes I have, because these two were back to back. I was like, if you're gonna make people depressed, at least do it in a way they can relate to. Right?
Yeah.
So I love that this movie is full circle, right? It starts where, you know, he's basically, he needs a job. He has to have this bicycle to keep the job. Day one, bicycle gets stolen. And then he goes, it's basically his quest to get this bicycle back because he's so desperate to have this work so he can provide for his family. And then he also, spoiler from 1948, ends up stealing a bike himself in order, right? And
Just
then
to try. Oh.
yeah, and then gets caught and then gets let go and is back, right? And his son, we mentioned, is on this journey with him trying to find this lost bicycle. And then at the end, he's right back at the same spot he was in the beginning of the movie. And so I feel like for actual Italians, I mean, not that other people didn't see this, but this must have been a much more, while still depressing,
Yeah.
a much more relatable thing about what their lives were like post-war, right? They already know what happened, right? They lived through it. And now this was like, oh, it's not just like, I don't know. I really liked it. And if it's good enough for Akira Kurosawa, it's good enough for me. He listed as like one of his favorite movies.
I could see that. I could completely see that. And so I was listening to you, and Sean would be like, you can't listen and look at your phone, but I heard everything she said. But did I hear or did I listen, Sean? Is that what yep, I can see you, Sean. I was just looking to see if that young man, if that little boy ever he went on and made 25 more films. Seems like always like the bus boy or this or that, but it's kind of, I'm trying to take some, because man, this movie still makes me cry. It's still, man's just trying to, that's it.
Let's kind of like bring the room back up again. Number 14, Miracle on 34th Street. Miracle on 34th Street is a 1947 American Christmas comedy released by 20th Century Fox, written and directed by George Seaton, and based on a story by Valentine Davies. Stars Maureen O'Hara, John Payne, Natalie Wood, and Edmund Gwen. The story takes place between Thanksgiving and Christmas in New York City, focuses on the effect of a department store Santa Claus who claims to be the real Santa. And that is Michelle.
If you were trying to bring the room back up, you picked the wrong person to start with. I do not like this movie. I don't know why. I love Edmund Gwen. He's so pure and simple that even at some point I believed he's the real fucking Santa Claus, but I can't get into this movie. I've seen it done as a play. It's not for me. And I think probably it's because I didn't watch it as a kid, like, so as a classic. I didn't really watch it as a kid, so it didn't become part of my like tradition. But that said, people love this fucking movie, so I know it's just me. I know it's just me. And I think the only thing I can attribute to is that it wasn't part of our, Christmas tradition to watch this movie. So but other than that, I can't, I know, yeah. And then the remake, like, I tried to watch that too. I thought, maybe, because Dylan McDermott. I fucking love Dylan McDermott. Nope, still is a no for me. And that's not to say it's not a great movie, because it is. It's real cute. But I don't know what my cold, dead, black heart
No.
doesn't like about it.
No.
Andrea?
bitch is dumb.
See, I
No, I said
told
it
you it was me.
because no, and I get it. But Christmas is also my favorite holiday. It is not your favorite holiday. It's not even close. I drag you kicking and screaming into it every fucking year. I love this movie. I fucking plus please take this the way I'm going to say it. Anybody who tries to report, I love young Natalie Wood.
Oh,
She was so.
Are we not doing phrases?
She was. That's why I'm like, please. She's so good in this. Maureen O'Hare is great. I love her accent. Drops a couple of times. She says like thing, but she's like, and the ting, and it's like,
Thanks for nothing, Danny.
yep, exactly. I love that she had already moved back to Ireland and was like, I'm retired, and she got this script, and she's like, I'm coming. I'm blown away by the fact of Zanuck, as greedy as he was, but because he hated Christmas, Daryl Zanuck, because he hated Christmas, he insisted this movie be released in May because people go to movies in warmer weather. I'm like, sir, where'd you get those stats? Also, they kept all the Christmas theme out of the posters. So like you did not, they had no idea. And this movie where I could not find it anywhere, but I did read this years ago, like when the 94 remake came out, that when this original came out, they offered, if you did not like it, you could get a refund at the box office.
Shit.
And I think they had like 27 people took them up on it because people were pissed. Because they were like, we didn't know this was a Christmas movie. Like I already said, I love this movie. I love how it was filmed during the real Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, which I want to go to so bad. And it's the 100th anniversary this year. And I've always wanted to go just to be there at the time and do that. But I do realize the craziness of it. I was just throwing it out there. The performances are so good. I'm a fan of the remake. Because they go a little bit deeper into but they touch on stuff here, like Maureen O'Hara's husband is gone. That's why she doesn't really believe in wishes or miracles or fantastic, like he's gone. And the fact that it's not like he died in the war. It's not like she's not a widower or anything. I feel that it does touch on some things like, oh shit. I like this movie.
So this movie, well, you brought up Maureen O'Hara, but John Payne I
should have brought up John Payne too.
Dissatisfied with the roles he was getting at Fox. So they were shoving him into musicals and B movies. And so they offered him, I think it was a musical, but they offered him a movie and he just declined the project. He was under contract, so he got suspended in 1946. And then while he's suspended, he was literally walking around the lot at Fox asking who was making movies. He runs into George Seaton, who Fox wanted him to direct this movie. So he goes and he just volunteered to play the role of the attorney. John Payne did. And so Seaton was okay, and went, and John Payne's in the movie. But this movie was nominated for 4 Academy Awards, won 3. Gwen, I keep wanting to call him Gwyn because there's 2 N's and it just seems like it's a Gwen. Gwen for Best Actor in a Supporting Role, Davies for Best Writing, George Seaton for Best Writing, Screenplay. Oh, sorry. Davies wins for Best Writing Original Story, Seaton for Best Writing Screenplay. Film was nominated for Best Picture, but lost out to Gentleman's Agreement. And I, too, like this movie, and maybe saying something controversial, I like the remake better.
This is true. You do, because we have that discussion every Christmas.
Disagrees with you because they would not give them their
name.
Yeah, but I like them both.
Macy's was like, no.
Like, I think the quote was that we could not improve on the original.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Which, listen, on Macy's trouble, they should have done it just some free advertising every year.
Yeah, how about it?
Okay, number 15, Red River. Red River is a 1948 American Western film directed and produced by Howard Hawks, starring John Wayne and Montgomery Clift.
I already know we feel the same way about this.
It gives a fictional account of the first cattle drive from Texas to Kansas along the Chisholm Trail. The dramatic tension stems from a growing feud over the management of the drive between the Texas Ranger who initiated it, Wayne, and his adopted adult son, Clift. That is neither of you. I don't want to hear from... no, Andrea.
Oh, you mean his adopted adult son, where in real life he bullied him through the whole set and called him the F word because he was a horrific fucking human being. Listen. Red River is not... I don't like... Stop with the sign. This is why you signed me up. Red River, I'm not a John Wayne fan. He is one of the artists. It is very hard for me to separate the artist from the movies he makes. I won't even... Red River's not a good movie. I mean, it's kind of like, okay. There's so many troublesome backstories and everything you know about this, but it's just really, of the John Wayne movies, Red River is one of those that I'm just like, oh, okay, not a real big interest in this one. And you know this, I will watch McClintock. I love you. I will watch it and not engage in a book. I will watch The Shootist. There are a couple of John Wayne movies that if I'm in I will watch. But Red River and I want to actually love it, or at least like it, for Montgomery Clift. Wow. Like, Monty was very troubled, but I think Monty and I would have been friends. So yeah, not Howard Hawks' best.
Michelle?
My notes aren't going to be that much different. This whole movie is just John Wayne's character. I'll just say that, being an asshole, right? Up to and including propositioning his stepson, girlfriend, if she gives him a child, then he'll give her the half of the ranch he was gonna give the son till he betrayed him. Throw this whole movie in the trash. I mean, it's no wonder to me that there's like a whole generation of boomers who think like that character is what a man's supposed to be like, right? First it's John Wayne, so it's, like rough and tumble fucking John Wayne, but then he treats everyone in his life like absolute fucking garbage, and then we're supposed to feel sorry for him at the end when he gets shot. And then decides like, oh, well, now you can have part of the ranch. Go back and change the brand. You've earned it. Oh my God. Gross. The whole thing it gives me the ick. Except for the part that I think maybe Cherry Balance's name in The Outsiders is a nod to Cherry Balance, the hired gunman.
I believe
that's
that
all
as
I'm going to say. Because they called her
true.
Cherry.
How did I not put that? Yeah, oh my God.
It is a nod.
Sorry, Essie. I'm so sorry. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Sean. I'm sorry, what year was this movie made?
48.
1948.
Okay, I could not remember. Thank you.
I think it's been alluded to. I do like John Wayne movies. I acknowledge all the problems with John Wayne, but I do like John Wayne movies. I do not like this movie. I was just messing with y'all. No, I do not like
Bastard.
This yeah, and again, like so many and most of this is movies, but and TV shows. So many things in my life that I don't like, and I feel like I'm supposed to like. I keep going back to it and kind of going, I'm supposed to like this, and I've watched this movie probably 3 times, and I have the same feeling over it every time. Don't like this movie, but this film was nominated for Academy Awards for Best Film Editing, Best Writing, Motion Picture Story. Didn't win any of them, but I put this story in here. It's going to make sense to you all, probably anybody who has been around me the last couple of weeks. But at age 25, this was Montgomery Clift's first Hollywood film role. So Howard Hawks had seen him on stage, and he was so impressed by what he saw, he was willing to sign him with no strings attached, which helped Clift's sense of independence because he was real nervous. So he spent 6 weeks learning how to ride like a real cowboy under the guidance of another actor, Noah Beery Jr. Rockford's dad, which I'm
Rocky.
currently
Rockford.
Rocky. I'm deep in the Rockford Files right now, rewatching those. But yeah, so I threw that in for that connection.
I love Rocky. That was something too, though. That's what that's why one of the reasons that Wayne started the bullying. He knew that that Clift was a homosexual.
Yeah.
But Wayne couldn't ride a horse for fuck all, and he was scared of them. And then you have a Nancy boy that can ride, and that.
Yeah. Okay, Marion.
Right? We're fine with your name, motherfucker.
Number 16, Laura. Laura is a 1944 American film noir produced and directed by Otto Preminger. Stars Gene Tierney, Dana Andrews, along with Clifton Webb, Vincent Price, and Judith Anderson. Manhattan detective Mark McPherson, played by Dana Andrews, investigates the murder of Madison Avenue executive Laura Hunt, played by Gene Tierney, in her fashionable apartment. On the trail of her murderer, McPherson quizzes Laura's arrogant best friend, gossip columnist, and best name ever, Waldo Lydecker, played by Clifton Webb, and her comparatively mild fiancé, Shelby Carpenter, played by Vincent Price. As the detective grows obsessed with the case, he also finds himself falling in love with a dead woman. That is Michelle.
Okay, so I have seen this movie twice. The first time I liked it a lot better than the second time. I think because I had seen other films in between. One of them is on this list. And I love film noir, and I love when there's kind of a, like a twist, right? And I think the reason I didn't like it as much the second time is because there's another movie I saw in between these two that's, in my opinion, better. It's not the same kind of thing, but it's there. Anyway, this movie's great. In my notes, there were a lot of companions, like female companion, or in this case, a male companion, or, do we think that shit still happens? Is this just the old rich white people thing, or do you think that shit still happens? That they just have like a platonic, at least on one side,
Yeah.
right? Like companion just hanging out. It just, I don't know. It's one of those things that struck me because we've talked about that a lot. Like somebody's like even in Rebecca, right? There's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
just, I don't know. It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't, because you say companion, and I always see that they would refer to somebody as a companion if they were old, rich, and white. And this was like Dame Maggie Smith, and it's Betty Davis, isn't it? In Death on the Nile. She's her nurse and companion.
Correct.
But I didn't know if you meant in this movie Judith Anderson.
I just think
okay. It's a rich white thing.
Yeah.
It's a rich white thing. Yes. Yes. You get one given to you after you graduate from Harvard.
This is another example of Zanuck just taking a bunch of fucking L's. Right? He just, as a studio producer, he just tried to be way too involved, and he starts taking L after L, particularly on this film, because he fires Preminger, replaces him, brings him back, fucks up his ending, gets too involved in the plot and the script writing, and then has to acquiesce because he gets told, like, okay, whatever, this ending sucks balls. You got to bring back the original ending. Finally, he just lets, Preminger have his shit back. So, I do like this film. I do think it is good. And I also like that I read that that David Lynch also quite liked this movie, and that Twin Peaks, even up to and including that Laura Palmer's name was Laura, was an homage to this, even though his is in my opinion, much, much creepier version of if I can't have her, no one will. And then if you haven't seen Twin Peaks, I'm not spoiling that for you. Go watch that.
Go watch.
Isn't that like 30 years old?
Yeah, but I mean, people still don't understand what that ending was.
Well, I don't.
And
either.
I'm not talking about the Black Lodge part of it. I'm talking about Anyway, but it is a much creepier version of that.
Andrea,
this is in my top 25 all-time favorite movies.
Oh fuck, I knew it.
It's you still no, it's okay. Of course it's okay. I think the acting in this is a fucking masterclass. I love that Mamoulian, who was brought in after Preminger was fired the first time, Mulligan was like, just fucking it up. Like, he gave no direction to Tierney or Andrews because he was like, you're below me. And then, like, he was letting, because again, like I said earlier when we were talking about Rebecca, Dame Judith Anderson's in this. And they said that, like, and she has a very kind of subtle, you think like she's quote unquote, not a bad guy in the fact of like, oh, maybe she murdered, but just her character in the film was this subdued kind of like, I know what I'm getting, and I'm okay with that. Because Shelby, also shout out to hot Vincent Price, that it's still every time I'm like, damn, Shelby's such a Texan heel, but Shelby is who Shelby is. Like, there's everything, but like Mamoulian the quote I read that said, because Zanuck gave him full thing, let Anderson read from the balcony instead of having a subdued performance. Totally ignored Clifton Webb because, again, a homosexual, and Zanuck didn't like, and like Clifton Webb hadn't acted in years, and he's so good in it. He's Waldo Lydecker, and he's so good. But when I first saw this movie, it was, there's always been twists in films, kids. M. Night wasn't the first one to do it, but they used to be few and far between. But in this, there is such a twist, and you're just like, holy shit. Like, I never expected the twist, which I did ruin it for our son the first time.
Oh, no.
I thought he had gotten past that.
I was waiting for this. You mentioned on the last episode you had spoiled a movie for your son, and this
he still will say this was a good movie.
Did you spoil by telling like who did it, or that she was still alive?
That she was still alive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I thought he was right past that part, because he said something and I'm like, but he thought it was a dream because he had just paused it, and he felt sorry because Dana Andrews had fallen asleep in the chair. I think this has a great bit of like matching doors and keys, and I loved this movie, and seeing Gene Tierney in this, and she's so bright and young and very Gene Tierney, because she's just like beautiful. She was so, just look up the stuff on Gene Tierney if you want to feel really bad and cry a lot. I did not know, though, until a few years ago that she had been married to and had children with Oleg Cassini. Like,
I did not know.
No. And but this is good. She's fantastic. I'm not breaking anything. I do not think this is her best film of the 40s. But yeah, she and the whole cast. Yep. Cool. Laura, see it at a theater near you.
Which is your house.
Which is my house.
17, the Third Man. The Third Man is a 1949 film noir directed by Carol Reed, written by Graham Greene, starring Joseph Cotton. Alida Valley, that is her stage name, because if you want me to read her real name, I will quit this podcast. Orson Welles and Trevor Howard. Set in post-World War II Allied-occupied Vienna, the film centers on American writer Holly Martins, who arrives in the city to accept a job with his friend Harry Lime, only to learn that he has died. Martin stays in Vienna to investigate Lime's death, becoming infatuated with Lime's girlfriend, Anna Schmidt. That is Andrea.
Why couldn't I have Laura? I have, these are my notes. Harry is the drama. Also, young Joseph Cotton was so hot. Meh. It didn't do a lot for me. I saw it once at the video store. It's nothing I've ever seen. Who knows? Maybe I would like it if I watched it again. But from what I can remember, and when I was going back and doing the research on it, I was like, I'm content not to revisit this.
Okay. Michelle?
I also only saw it once, probably because your mom told us to.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, it's the same genre of like the, dead, but not dead. Right. And that I don't love that the reason that Martins ends up staying after he's like because okay, let me backtrack. So while he's there, he falls in love with the girl, right? And then, again, spoiler alert, Harry's not dead, right? But when they find out what he was doing, and they're gonna go get him, she is like, no, but I still love him. And then she tips him off that the cops are coming to get him. And then what should have happened is that Holly should have just been exactly what he was gonna do. Fuck this, I'm leaving. This is garbage. I'm not getting the girl. This guy's a dirtbag. He was my friend, but now he's not. Blah, blah, blah. I'm going home. And then he gets taken to the hospital to see the kids that are dying from this black market penicillin that was supposed to help them. And that's why he stays. So in the end, when he doesn't get the girl back, I do not feel sorry for him. But I do like the weird angles and the shooting and the darkness and whatever. And that I read that William Wyler, who's a friend of Carol Reed's, sent him a level and said, with a note that said, Carol, next time you make a picture, just put it on top of the camera, will you? Because of all the weird angles and shit.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I
But
like
it does,
that.
I mean, it looks
I love
cool.
a shady friend.
It looks cool, but it's not at the top of my list for these type of movies.
Okay. Number 18. Notorious. Notorious.
I knew it.
Sorry. 1946 American spy film directed and produced by Alfred Hitchcock, starring Cary Grant, Ingrid Bergman, Claude Rains as three people whose lives become intimately entangled during an espionage operation. Film follows U.S. government agent T.R. Devlin, who enlists the help of Alicia Huberman, the daughter of a convicted German spy, to infiltrate a group of Germans hiding out in Rio de Janeiro after World War II. Situation becomes complicated when the two fall in love, as Huberman is instructed to seduce Alex Sebastian, played by Claude Rains, who is an IG Farben executive who had previously been infatuated with her. That sounds like a lot. 18. Michelle.
I feel about Notorious the way Andrea feels about Laura. First of all, I love Alfred Hitchcock, and I love this movie. I know I'm not really breaking the rules, but I like that they had to they tried to skirt around the fact that she had kind of a flowery past, and that's why they end up trying to use her to seduce the farm exec. But they're basically saying, well, hey, she was already a whore, so this won't be out of character for her. Which Devlin doesn't care about, as he falls in love with her, although he does try to shield her from the assignment, and they're like, nah, man, she already does this shit, so she'll be fine. I have so many notes on this because I love it so much. It has all of the Hitchcockian things that we know and love about him, like superior camera shots, where it goes from big wide scenes to very tiny scenes to the way they cover up how they get caught in the cellar. I love. I mean, this is great filmmaking. Up to and including the ending, which I absolutely fucking love, because listen, spoiler alert, nothing. When he walks her down the stairs out in front of and all the people that are gonna they're trying to kill her because he knows he got caught, and then he knows he has to get rid of her thanks to his mom, who Hitchcock will explore further mother issues as his work continues. But then he just and the fact that it's Cary Grant also just makes it better for me, because he doesn't care. He loves her. He's going to walk her down in front of her, and he was going to let this guy get his fucking comeuppance, which we assume that he does. I just think this is unmatched filmmaking. This isn't even my favorite Hitchcock, but I fucking love this one.
Okay. Andrea?
Have notes. First note, It's in my top 5 Hitchcock movies. Number 2, which seems to be a theme in the 40s, because I'm guessing all the people who made the movie posters were over there fighting. The poster sucks. I had this poster sucks. Who was doing these posters? Because it looks like he's giving her like this wry grin. It's such a weird poster for what the movie is about. I also have mothers-in-law are the worst. But this is so, there are parts in that, like I just said to Michelle and joking around, and babe, if you look at me, I was like this, like seriously, the first time I saw it when he's walking her down, I was like, this can't go well. And then I really did feel bad for Claude a little bit, young Andy.
I think you're supposed
but now,
to.
yeah, but it's like, he's like, take me with you. And they're like, narp. And it's so good.
It is so good.
It is, yeah. Way to go. That's
Okay.
it.
Number 19.
Oh, wait, can I add
Oh,
one?
no, please.
One of the most interesting things that I read about this was when the American Film Institute did their Lifetime Achievement Award for Alfred Hitchcock. On set, Cary Grant had kept the key to the cellar, the key that that she steals off the key ring. Because when she's given the original set of the keys, there's no key to the cellar, and that's how they figure out like something's in the fucking cellar. And then so Cary Grant kept that key off the set. He had it in his possession. And then at some point, he gives it to Ingrid Bergman and says, this always brought me good luck. I hope it brings you good luck. And he gives her the key. Then at this award ceremony, she gives the key to Hitchcock. And he's like shocked and he didn't even know that anyone had it. And it was like a very touching moment. He really loved it. And so I just thought that was real cute. I love that Cary Grant kept that memento and then gave it to her, and then she gave it back to Hitchcock. I love that story.
I love that.
Yeah, it's real cute. Anyway.
It's like that.
Me too.
Number 19. Brief Encounter. Brief Encounter is a 1945 British romantic tragedy directed by David Lean from a screenplay by Noel Coward, based on his 1936 one-act play Still Life. Film stars Celia Johnson and Trevor Howard in the lead roles. This tells the story of two married strangers living in pre-World War II England whose chance meeting at a railway station leads to a brief yet intense emotional affair, disrupting their otherwise conventional lives. That is Andrea.
This is so sad. It's so heartbreaking. I've seen this a few times. There's other films in later years that have tried to. What's funny is nobody gives this film the credit. Like, this is kind of taking from, but it's just like the being empty in your life, and you find somebody that chance encounter brings you joy. And then to not be able to be together. And there's a scene in it where they've decided that they are going to consummate their emotional affair. Yes, they're married. I'm not, please, let's not get me started on this, because it's so sad. And there is a part where they're going to consummate, and he's using a friend's apartment, and then the friend comes home early and hears her and scolds him, and I just always felt that his friend scolded him, because sometimes I think people, your friends, the ones who are closest to you, this isn't a passive aggressive statement. It's not about you. I know you, like 7 nights from now when we're having drinks, you're going to be like, was that about me? But I think,
no, you'll tell me.
Yeah, I will. Oh, I totally will. That was passive aggressive, but, I think that your friends say they want to see you happy and everything like this, but in some instances, that if your happiness will crack the facade of what they see as happiness, they'll do their best to not see you happy, for your own good. And it's just, they don't get to say goodbye because her friend comes, and it's so good. I never knew that David Lean did this movie. I never knew that until we until we got the list. And I was like, what it blew me away that it was Lean. it's really good. It's poignant, it's heartbreaking, and yeah, and I think, and I'm not breaking the rules, it I feel was ahead of its time.
For sure.
But it's Noel Coward, so I'm not surprised with that.
You all spend a lot of time saying you're not breaking the rules when you're breaking the rules.
Do you want to hear something?
Yeah.
We regret nothing.
Oh, boy. Michelle.
I also agreed this one's super sad. It's like the epitome of, the heart wants what the heart wants kind of thing, right? And the thing that always got me was when he's leaving the rail station at the end to go get on his train to Africa, and he just gives her a little squeeze on the shoulder, and you're just like, oh no. The differences between the play and the movie are subtly different, but I think actually make the movie. I never saw the play, so just take that for what it is. But I think it makes the movie more heartbreaking, right? Because for instance, in the play, it's kind of left up to you whether or not they consummated their relationship or not. That was for the viewer to interpret. And when at the end, when she's so distraught, when she realizes like this is never going to happen, and she attempts to, they dumbed that down for the movie, but in the play, it's quite obvious that she's going to throw herself in front of a train. Whether it was that train or not, I don't know, but it's sad. It's very sad. And that it starts as such an innocent thing, right?
Yeah.
It's like as an escapism kind of thing from whatever their lives were or are, that it just starts as such an innocent thing. And then it even kind of ends that way.
Well,
it still ends as it's just sad.
There's I can't remember the name of the movie, but it's De Niro and Meryl Streep. And they're like they meet because of the train station, which this might be kind of a nod to. I don't know, but yeah, it does come down to, are they going to have an affair? Like it's why can't I remember that? I can only remember his with Jane Fonda, but I can only remember Stanley and Iris, so that's all that's stuck in my.
I believe that was called Falling in Love.
Yes, and it just reminded me. The first time I saw that movie, reminded me of this movie. Yes, there are differences, but yeah, I just it's a good movie. It's a good movie.
No reference to that being related to this.
That's what I was looking for, to see if it was
nothing.
Like a nod to, or
yeah.
Who directed Falling in Love?
Ulu Grosbard.
Oh, Ulu, he never gives credit.
There's a lot of people in this stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people in it.
Yeah.
Okay. Did both of you get a chance to speak on that movie?
Yes.
Okay. And no held rounds? Anything left?
Mm.
Okay. Number 20, Fantasia. Fantasia is a 1940 American animated musical anthology film produced by Walt Disney Productions. Story direction by Joe Grant and Dick Humer. It consists of 8 animated segments set to pieces of classical music conducted by Leopold Stokowski, 7 of which are performed by the Philadelphia Orchestra. Deems Taylor acts as the film's master of ceremonies, who introduces each segment in live action. And Michelle.
This is another one of those, I didn't appreciate this when I first saw it kind of things. Like, as a kid, I was just like, this is boring as hell. Why are they? Yeah. Why do I have to listen to all this and none of this makes sense? And yeah, but upon rewatching several times as an adult, like it's super fascinating to me. And has all the damn classics in it. So how do I, at this point, I love it. I just think it's fun, and that I like, again, we talked about this when we talked about Snow White, that Walt had vision, right? For all of Walt's actual like faults, he had vision, and he fully agreed, listen, I don't know enough about music to tell you what should or shouldn't be in this. I just know what I want it to feel like, and that when they realized it was going to be too expensive, that they'd never make their money back on it for what it was originally intended to be, which was one of those silly symphonies. They were like, okay, so we're just going to go for it. We're just going to make this feature-length film with all these million characters in it, where things do tie in and things don't tie in, and the Sorcerer's Apprentice Mickey, right, that now is beloved. They were like, we got to give him a little shot in the arm, so we're gonna. He had vision, like, and I can respect that. I have mad respect for that. Plus, it looks fucking cool.
Andrea?
What Michelle said.
Oh. Okay. So the only two things I would add is the soundtrack was recorded using multiple audio channels and reproduced with what Disney created this Fantasound. But that is a pioneering sound system that made Fantasia the first commercial film shown in stereo and would be the precursor to surround sound, which I appreciate. Also, when adjusted for inflation, Fantasia is the 23rd highest grossing film of all time.
That was, when I read that, I was like, oh, holy shit.
And that is conservative, in my opinion, because of the war, they couldn't distribute this to Europe. So they couldn't make those international ducats. So that would have been
buckets.
it would have been even more, but they couldn't get it distributed. So
okay,
fine, don't be an ass.
that is all 20, and now my favorite part of episode 2 of all of these, you get one. Andrea, you are up first.
Well, I gotta be first.
Oh, we forgot to confer if ours were the
We
same.
really did, but I don't think they are.
Okay.
In fact,
well, you already knew what my one was going to be, but I have a second. So
Okay.
I'm hoping your one is my second.
Okay, so here's
Michelle, it's called You Get One.
this is my note. You get one. This is a bullshit. Because the movies that were made in the 40s, and I know we can't go with like what our favorite was because it's supposed to be indicative of the 40s.
Give me your movie.
Leave Her to Heaven with Gene Tierney. This movie is fucking fantastic. Psychological thriller, melodrama. It's the first film noir filmed in color. Gene Tierney is fucking insane in this movie. She has this quiet malevolence, like all housed in this gorgeous, funny, stunning woman who's a psychopath. It's so good. Have you seen this?
I do not believe so.
She is, from the minute she meets, all of a sudden I can't remember who the is. It's not Dan Andrews. Fuck. Who is it? The minute she meets him on the train, she becomes like obsessed with him. And he's like, oh, hot damn, okay, everything. He's a writer. But she's like, you remind me so much of my father, who's dead. And it's just like a little bit too much of, you remind me so much of my father. So eventually, like, and again, Vincent Price comes in as her fiance, and she's like, oh, sorry you're here. I'm marrying Richard. And Richard's like, I didn't know we were getting married, but okay. They get married. You've seen this scene where she is rowing out in the middle of a lake and she watches her brother-in-law drown. He has polio.
Okay.
She's mad that they're stuck with him. He's kind of like he's raising his brother.
All right.
And he's and she's just like staring at him like, okay, because then she gets rid of him. She throws herself down a flight of stairs to miscarry the baby that she's pregnant with because she doesn't want an evil little monster in her. Not that she thinks she's evil. She doesn't want. She frames her sister and her husband for her murder. She kills herself and frames them because she realizes they're falling in love. It is insane.
Were you thinking of Cornell Wilde?
Yes, Cornell Wilde. Thank you.
Okay.
There. That's my movie.
And what would you remove from this list?
Yeah, go ahead, take it, because then I got to think of another one. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm.
Michelle, was that your movie?
No.
Oh.
Rome Open City.
Oh, that's not what you were gonna say.
Rome Open City.
All right.
You would remove Rome Open City.
I would.
Michelle, do you have one?
I do indeed.
Michelle, do you have one?
I do indeed.
Okay.
Lost
Weekend, 1945. Billy Wilder. I shouldn't have to defend it beyond this. It won Best Picture, Director, Actor, Adapted Screenplay, and is one of only 4 films to win what we refer to as the Palme d'Or, but is now, again, the Grand Prix at Cannes, which is this film, Marty, Parasite, and Anora, which means it won the best there and it won the best here. It's so good. And I think, okay, so personally, part of me, as the child of a mad alcoholic, this film spoke to me in a way and helped me understand things I did not understand about my father. But upon rewatching it several times since the first time I watched it, there's a lot of nuance in this, in a film that is overtly, it tells you what this is. Like, there's not any sugarcoating like what this person is, that Don is an alcoholic, an alcoholic's alcoholic. He misses things, he loses things, it but there's a lot of nuance in the relationship between himself and Helen, in the relationship between him and his brother, even his relationship with the guy who owns the bar. I just feel like there's a lot of nuance in this. And to note, that after Billy Wilder made Double Indemnity, which we talked about, with Raymond Chandler, he desperately wanted to make this film because he wanted to understand Raymond Chandler, who at the time was recovering, questionable alcoholic. He could not understand why Raymond Chandler did the things he did during their relationship of making Double Indemnity. And so he really was like quite interested in making this movie. They really filmed parts of it in New York with hidden cameras. So Ray Milland was literally walking down the street amongst just regular New Yorkers, so that they could capture the feel, kind of the chaos and the being lost in a crowd of people, right? Just being like, and they were granted. So there's a scenes where he ends up in Bellevue's alcoholic ward, and they actually filmed those scenes in Bellevue, in that alcoholic ward, and no film since has ever been granted access to actually film in the actual hospital. So, and there's like great weird theremin in the soundtrack. I don't know.
Yeah,
and when they originally aired, sorry, I just love this movie so much. But when they originally screened this movie, people laughed because the soundtrack that was originally attached to it was like upbeat jazz and whatever, and it did not match the mood of the film. So like he would do things like a drunk, and people would think that was funny. So they wiped the soundtrack and put in a new soundtrack with a lot of the weird like theremin and whatever, and people were automatically just like, "Ooh." Right. So if you ever doubt like that movie's music sometimes
can dictate,
really,
take you where you should be going.
Yeah, he pawns the coat that is oh God, to buy booze, and that's the thing that brought him and Helen together in the first place. Jesus Christ. Anyway, yeah, there. I love it.
What would you take off the list?
Red fucking River. And listen, Don's not a good person. He's at his core, he wants to be, but I don't think that he is.
I understand. Number one. So now we're voting again for the top 10. You already have 2. So we have Leave Her to Heaven and The Lost Weekend in the top 10. And now I would like a vote from each of you on the rest of the movies. You only have 8 slots left. Number 1, Casablanca, Andrea.
No.
Michelle?
Yes.
Number 2, Citizen Kane, Michelle.
Yes.
Andrea?
No.
Woo!
Number 3, It's a Wonderful Life, Andrea.
Yes.
Michelle?
Yes.
Number 4, His Girl Friday, Michelle.
No.
Andrea?
No.
Number 5, Double Indemnity, Andrea.
Yes.
Michelle?
Yes.
Number 6, the Maltese Falcon. Michelle.
Yes.
Andrea.
No.
Number 7, Rebecca. Andrea.
You know, I originally had this as a yes. I'm going to say no.
Michelle.
Also no.
Number 8, the Philadelphia Story. Michelle.
No.
Andrea.
Same thing Michelle did.
That's a no,
No.
with a groan and a no.
Yes.
9, Meet Me in St. Louis. Andrea.
Yes.
This goes back to the core of my problem producing this podcast. Is, and I'm not asking you to change your vote. I'm not asking anybody to. I'm just, in my own head, the movie is about the 1904 World's Fair, and does it represent the 1940s to someone who doesn't know? And that's a rhetorical question. I'm saying in my own brain, I realize what I've done here.
I think the technicolor of it, the production value, that's why I do realize that.
Again, not asking you to change your vote. I just, Michelle,
No.
Out of the Past. Michelle.
No.
Andrea.
No.
The Great Dictator. Andrea.
Yes.
Michelle.
Yes.
The Bicycle Thief.
Oh,
that's
Michelle.
Michelle.
Yes.
Andrea.
Yes.
Oh. Miracle on 34th Street. Andrea.
Oh, this hurts me, but no.
Michelle.
No.
It hurts.
Yeah, I knew what that was going to be.
It hurts.
Laura. Michelle.
I have to say no because both of our ones are in. It was originally in my 10, but I have to say no.
Andrea.
Yes. But I get what you're saying.
Because you're probably going to do that too in a minute.
Okay. And The Third Man. Andrea.
No.
Michelle.
No.
Notorious. Michelle.
Yes.
Andrea.
Yes. Oh. Haha.
Wow. Brief Encounter. Andrea.
No.
Michelle.
No.
Both sound so resigned. Fantasia. Michelle.
I already have 10, so I have to say no.
And Andrea.
I only have 8. No.
Counting the 2?
Counting
No,
our
sorry.
two. Do you get one?
No, hold on. Hold on a second. Hold on. Give me just, please.
That's fine.
Hold, please.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. I can't do math.
But I can tell you that we have 5 yeses and 5 disagreements.
No to Fantasia.
8, 9, 10.
Yeah, I do too. No to Fantasia, but
So, number 1, Casablanca. Andrea, Michelle, you're a yes. Andrea's a no. Why? Actually, Andrea, why are you a no?
did you hear that little squeak?
I did.
I think but the more I think about it, I'm like, that does strike me as very 40s. It is. And it's set during the fucking war. Like literally filmed and set during the war. It feels very 40s. If you said to me, Casablanca, what decade? 40s. Sums it up. I think one of the best Bogart performances ever. I will take it back. I will say yes to that. I will not give you Citizen Kane, so don't come to me for words, because that doesn't say 40s to me.
Michelle, why does Citizen Kane speak 40s to you?
You know what? You know what? I'll give on that, even though I think people will think we're fucking crazy.
I know.
for a couple of reasons. It wasn't set then necessarily, and it wasn't popular until the 50s. Like, people didn't. I mean, we're gonna get fucking roasted for this, but I concede that. Yeah, and I mean, we talked about this too. I also don't agree that it's the best fucking movie of all time, let
No.
alone being the
No,
best
but it
movie
doesn't
of-
speak 40s to me, and I can't tell
agree-
you this
I
is.
agree with that.
And I can see where somebody's saying, "Well, what
In
about this?"
keeping-
Does it
yeah.
just doesn't?
Yeah, but
keeping-
somebody's not on this podcast.
No,
It's
I-
only you
in
two.
keeping with the does it represent the 40s? I guess I can say no.
Okay. So the next one is the Maltese Falcon. Andrea said no. Michelle said yes. Andrea, why are you a no?
Because I feel that there are other Seamus movies that do a better job representing the 40s.
That are on this list?
That are on this. That, you know what? Aren't even on this list.
Oh, interesting.
Aren't even on this list. I just feel
Again, them telling me my list sucks.
It's funny what you interpret with what I say. It's almost like you're a 17-year-old girl. So, no, I feel that there are better performances from everybody that's in this movie, but also this, I will like, but if this had been a movie in the 30s, I would have voted for it. But 40s, not so much. I feel we're starting to get out of Seamus's and actually kind of take them another way. So this feels a little bit dated, as odd as that sounds about a movie made in the 40s.
Michelle, your response?
Fuck you, Andrea.
It's, and again, I know it's not about this, but it's so fucking iconic.
It is?
I don't, ugh.
Is there one that I said yes to that Michelle said no to? Because then I feel that should be where we.
I think,
Yeah, the next one. So, Michelle, you're a no on Laura.
yeah, but for the same kind of reason that Andrea originally said no to the Falcon.
Mm-hmm.
And I would argue that if we're trying to do a full representation, that we should take Meet Me in St. Louis instead. That still leaves us with 9, right? 1, 2,
That'd be 9.
5, 6, 7, 8. So I'll acquiesce on Meet Me in St. Louis. So we add that,
Okay.
right?
Okay. Acquiesce on that, and then we'll scratch Laura, even though it's in my top 25.
Well, no, we don't have to because we still have room for 1. And I'm willing to give you that one too.
You're willing to.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
No, I'm not saying it because, like, well, go ahead and have your way. I'm not saying that.
I would hope
I
not.
can't.
This
Unless
is tough.
unless we go back and both say yes on something like Miracle on 34th, there's something, because I feel like, okay, listen, I know this isn't exactly the rules, but we have some film noir, we have some World War II, we don't have a lot of the reason I don't want Fantasia is because I don't feel like it represents the 40s. It just was something spectacular made in the 40s, right?
Sure.
So we can either have Laura or we can take Miracle because it gives something different for us to debate. I'm good either way.
Yeah.
What do you think? And now I need to watch Leave Her to Heaven.
It's on our Plex. Fuck. Am I gonna dump Laura for for Miracle? Third?
No, don't do that.
No, let's
do it. Let's
Laura.
do Laura. All right,
Laura.
there we go.
Okay, there you go, Sean.
Laura, huh?
That's 10.
That's 10.
That's 10.
5, 6, 7, 8. There we have it, folks. Our top 10 with the 2 editions of From You Get One, Leave Her to Heaven, The Lost Weekend, Casablanca, It's a Wonderful Life, Double Indemnity, Meet Me in St. Louis, The Great Dictator, The Bicycle Thief, Laura, Notorious. Looking at this list, if you've listened to this whole episode, I suggest you tune in next week because it's going to get nasty up in here. these two savages are going to go for it. So if you did make it this far, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe to the show. Leave us a comment or two. Hit us up on our socials. Let's start a conversation. Andrea will probably come back at you with something. If you do, don't worry. Just remember, we regret nothing.